Hi, this is Looney Dooney. I know it's kind of a crazy time, and I know that many of us are thinking about going back to work or going back to life. So, one of the things that my clients are thinking about is going back to birthday parties and events. I just did two live events this last week, and one of them was a in-person magic show where all the kids were on the driveway, and I was back doing a magic show, no volunteers. Uh, and another one was a drive-by event where families came through, they drove by, they got opened their trunks, and they put in food in their trunks and toys from me, and I was there doing juggling and balloons and just being silly as the cars drove by. So here's a couple of suggestions that I have for getting back to work um, at these parties at home. Now, now, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Dune Johnson. I'm Looney Dooney. I've been a full-time professional entertainer for about 40 years. I have a new book out called The Timing of Chicken Feathers. It's the 35 years of stories from my history of purveying joy. And it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. Don't forget to click at the end and buy it off of Amazon. But anyway, I have 8 different plans, 8 different suggestions on how to bring your parties back to your house after our lockdown. So the first one is remember your goals in the first place. Okay, why are we having the party? It's not about the presents, it's not about the decorations, it's not about the balloons, it's about our birthday kid, right? It's about the celebrant. So do everything you can to celebrate that child. One of the things I love to do is make signs and hang them around the backyard. Happy birthday, Alice, right? And make one of the activities, maybe have the kids color signs for Alice. Maybe make up a quiz about Alice that you can have a quiz game with everybody. Anyway, do lots of things that's centered around her. If her the favorite thing is unicorns, make it a unicorn party, but not just that, okay? Make it a unicorn party and find a way to make it Alice's special unicorn party. So always remember that you're there to celebrate the fact that you've been with this beautiful human for all of these years. The second thing is, especially now, limit the number of guests that you have. Okay, you don't want to invite the whole class anymore because then you have 20 kids running around and it's very hard to control. What I'm going to suggest is that you invite 2 or 3 families. Okay, one of the things that they're suggesting, are groups as small as 10. So if you've got you and your significant other and your child, that's already 3. That's not many more guests. So if you invite, say, 2 families or 3 families that have kids, now it's parents and kids, and you can celebrate the birthday. You can have a big celebration, but it's more intimate, more fun. And that way, the kids can kind of control the parents can kind of control their own kids. And it's so much easier to have a group of parents and kids than it is to have a group of nothing but kids in this kind of setting. Trust me. The other thing is that you also want to plan for social distancing, right? Set up blankets in specific spots where you want the parents and families to sit. Plan to serve food where they're not going to have to sit together at the kitchen table. Plan to have social distancing as a part of the experiment. That is exactly what they did at this show that I did earlier this week. They put tents out for the families and they put circles on the driveways where they wanted the families to sit. It was like the lady had read my blog. So just make it a part of the plan. It's easy. Another thing you can do is offer fun, colorful masks for your guests, or make up a mask craft as a very first thing they do. If you put a sign on the door that says we're all wearing masks, so let's make it fun, you can start from the beginning to lay the boundary that we are going to social distance and we're going to wear masks. Now, I like the idea of a mask crafting area where you put stickers and coloring pen, non-toxic coloring pens and, disposable masks, and they can decorate their own masks and put their new masks on and you'll get great pictures. Trust me. Another thing to do, and this is good for every party, okay? The way to keep things from being out of hand is to have a plan. right? And keep the kids busy and happy and entertained. Now, when I first started as a professional clown when I was 16 years old, which was, believe me, a few days ago, my teacher was a retired third grade teacher. Her name was Elaine Burnett. And she told me the one key to keeping kids busy, all right, at a birthday party or anywhere. And this is this, okay, right? When they're antsy and you can see them wiggling, get up and run them around till they get tired. When they get tired, you see their tongues hanging out, then you sit them down and you do something quiet. When they start to get antsy, you get up and run them around. When they get tired, you sit them down. And then you do that over and over and over again. You begin to see it happen. You begin to see them get antsy, you get up and do something. You begin to see them get tired, you sit them down. So you might, have a distancing game that you do, and then when they get tired, you sit them down and have them color coloring sheets with Alice's birthday on them, right? Active, quiet, and just keep that thing going the whole time. Now, my sixth suggestion is what I do, and that is I would hire a magician or some other kind of entertainer to come in and entertain the group. Okay? Because a show is fine. It keeps kids sitting, it keeps them actively entertained, but do make sure that you work with a magician that, like me, who's thought of this and who's going to do things. This is the mask that I came up to wear because I'm not going to be too close to the children because I'm back as a magician, but they can still see me, right? And so this is what I use. But I also don't bring up live participants to help me, even though they will be helping me and participating. They're not going to be up on the show handling my props, giving me five like they normally would, or giving me hugs like they normally would. So whoever you hire, make sure they've thought about it and they have a social distancing show in place. And here's another great idea, I think. I mean, I've been online doing Zoom shows ever since this whole thing began, right? And one of the most amazing parts of a Zoom birthday party for children is that grandparents can come, right? Why not bring them to a live party as well? Have somebody walk around with an iPad or a laptop with other guests. Grandma from Detroit, Aunt Betty from Oklahoma, all can attend. You can have somebody pass that laptop around from guest to guest, or walk it around and just set it someplace so they can watch the cake, so they can watch the presents. And believe me, grandparents are going to love this because they miss coming to the birthday parties if they're not local. So why not go ahead and use the technology that we've learned over the last 3 months and put it to work going back to parties. Now the final thing that I have, and this is really the suggestion for any party, right? Plan to have a good time. And what I mean by that is no matter what, have a good time. If it rains, have a good time. If you invite two families and one of them doesn't show up, so half of your guests don't show up, have a good time with the people that are there. If you planned a game and it doesn't really work out, throw up your hands and say, all right, let's try another one. Don't stress about the details. Plan to have a good time no matter what happens, okay? If you plan for joy, if you plan for fun, then no matter what tools you use, those will be the outcomes. All right? Have a great party and stay safe. Oh, and don't forget to buy my book.